Hey everybody, welcome to my review for Ninjago episode 96, Into the Bridge. Now before I get started, just want to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification button to be notified. Also, this review will have spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, then make sure you click on the video and go watch the episode. Alright, so anyway, this episode starts off on the bounty with, the ninjas and Countdown, and this episode is very similar and has a very subtle references to season 2 when Countdown's on the bounty with the ninjas before they rescue Lloyd in that season when Lloyd's a kid still. So this is before whatever episode he came in though, before it's episode 13. I forget the number episode, but either way, this is like the episode. There were subtle references to it, and it was very good in that way. I liked the references. So anyway, basically, the ninjas are standing around discussing what to do about the Oni and how to read it, and Gamdan basically is walking around and assessing the ship, and he ends up pressing the engine button, which shuts off the engine, and the ship ends up in a nosedive, just like in the trailer. If you've all seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. So that's, now we know where that scene is for the trailer. So after that's done, and they get the engine backing up, Lord and Gamdan head below deck while ninjas stay above deck. And here, basically, they enter the sleeping quarters, or the room for the ninjas. It's actually a sleeping quarters for a ship. No, I forget the tech. It's a sleeping quarters, but it's actually a technical term for it, for being on a ship. But basically, they enter there, and Gamdan, notices all the pictures, and asks what they are. Apparently, this Gamdan that's been resurrected doesn't know what a picture is. I mean, the real Gamdan would know. Even the real evil Gamdan, the season 2 Gamdan, knew what a picture was. Yet this Gamdan doesn't know what a picture is. But yeah, anyway, no, he probably was just making fun. Basically, Lloyd mentions how their pictures and how their memories and momentums of the past. Gamdan notices a picture of him and Lloyd. If you remember, this picture's been shown on and off in our seasons, where he's, standing with his son. This picture, just so you know, is probably taken between season 2 and 4. The reason for this is because season 3, he was wearing a different costume. Season 4, he's wearing his season 4 costume, the tournament elements. And he's at the dojo that he built he had in season 3. So that's how where this photo was taken, when this photo was taken. And basically, he looks at it. Apparently, he has no memory of his past, because he actually doesn't know about the photo or who that guy was. He doesn't remember himself before being resurrected. So that's a little in-depth of Gamdan's resurrection. He also, then throws a photo and, basically, I really feel like he's trying to push away his emotions and his good side, because, this scene and this episode, there's a lot of his good side coming out, but his evil side's trying to hold it back, push it back. I can't find a word for it. This is what's the thing. I have the word, but I can't think of it. So that's basically what's happening with Gamdan. But he does seem less evil in this, and he seems like he's getting less and less evil. So that's saying something right there. So we're back on top of the bounty, back on the deck. We arrive with Kai and Jay, basically, mopping the deck. No, I'm not going to say that deck. I'm not going to say that, because I don't think it's that deck, but there was some terms for the decks that a little bit doesn't really make sense. But basically, Kai basically asks Jay if he's proposed yet, and Jay he's just waiting for the right time. That and he's kind of scared to ask because, well, he's Jack. During this, Cole ends up overhearing it, and you know, he's actually excited to hear this because you know Jane, him, are kind of the closest out of the ninjas of best friends. So when I'm gonna say the word when Jane and Nia have their wedding, hopefully they actually do an episode for it. We know that Cole will be the best man because they're kind of best friends, and that's kind of how it works. Okay, I have strong idea that Cole will, unless of course something happens to Cole in this season. We're still not sure about that, although I'm positive he won't, but there's a lot of stuff online and a lot of stuff that's been stuff that makes me really scared it's gonna happen, but let's not get into that. So if Cole survives, he will be the best man. If he doesn't, well, I don't know. But anyway, basically, he also, Cole says some awkward stuff that's, basically, he describes asking Nia to be Jay's Yang as ripping off a bandage. And it's like, I actually found that funny because even though, Kai's like, that's being sarcastic, saying that's way to take the romance out, it's like, that's what I would say. I'm not very romantic in that way. I mean, I would probably think of it like that. Just get it over and done with. Done. So, that's something I would say. So Cole is my favorite character. And, it's just, he doesn't disappoint. So, I really hope nothing happens to him. After that, Zane basically calls everyone back to the bridge. While at the bridge, when they arrive to the bridge, Gamdan then explains how to defeat the Oni is by destroying the realm crystal. And he also mentions, that he's the only one who can survive down there because he's Oni. And then obviously, Lloyd, and he needs a sword, and then he mentions he needs a sword. And, they're kind of skeptical to give him a sword because he's calmed down. And, let him go off on his own. So Lloyd does end up saying, he's not letting him leave on his own, and that he's going to. Gamdan says he wouldn't survive, but this is because he's only half Oni. But this is where things get annoying. Gamdan's half Oni too. Yes, only his Oni side may be resurrected, but he's still only half Oni. You can't become full Oni just because you get rid of one half of yourself. You're still half Oni. Plus, he would also be half human since we don't know who the mum is. Unless the first one did too much, they just claimed him out of nothing, but or clay or something. But then they wouldn't really be his son. So they have to have a mother, and we don't know who the mother is. So the mother could be human, which technically would make him less Oni. But anyway, that's just technically how it would be. But anyway, so that's all I had to say about that. It was kind of like they're really pushing down, saying Gamdan's Oni in the creators, but it's like you can't just say his thing when the first Ninja Master's half-half, they would be half-half. They can't become full just because it doesn't work like that. Okay? The creators, they just got so many ways of doing things. It's just the subtle things. They're not really things that affect the show. They're just the subtle things that bother me. But anyway, ignoring that, it was alright. I tuned that out. So anyway, with that all said and done, Zane then ends up looking up the computer. Actually, he does this all before that, but he looks up the computer to find where the realm crystal is and find that it's underneath both towers. So apparently they didn't know it was moved. Now there are some things about the realm crystal that are thing and how the unit comes. And there was one guy's theory that I saw in my first review that said, the realm. What if the Oni were actually trapped in the realm crystal, and they were like, the realm crystal is what, like the first Ninja Master sealed the Oni in there. So that would be interesting. Don't think so. I like my idea of they're escaping because of what Yumi did. It would really make a kind of after effect of her choices. Because usually things like that, every choice you make has a after effect. But, it's probably not. So anyway, next up, it's we get to see Jay and Nia alone, where Jay attempts to, propose to her. And, he tries. He does try, but he fails very bad, and he ends up getting cold feet. After Gumdana then appears behind me, and he definitely gets cold feet. And that's the last of that. Whether Jay proposes in this season, since there's only choices left, is I don't know. He possibly will, but we know there's probably not going to be a marry. Like, everyone thought this was going to be a Jay season where he proposes and everything. Everyone thought that. Even when they saw the symbol. Me, even when the symbol was there, I never thought it was going to be a Jazz season. I thought we've already had so many of them. Technically, Skybound was it, so I was like, no, yes, the tempting thing happened, but the proposal thing's happening, but again, it's not what people were expecting. So he hasn't proposed yet, but he may propose in the end of it. I say, if anything, at least the end or the start of the next season, he should have hopefully gained enough courage. But we don't know. So finally, the ninjas arrive at Brook Towers, or above it, technically, because they can't land on the ground, because the entire place is full of shadow and Oni cloud, or whatever you want to call it, black cloud, Oni darkness, whatever you want to call it. And, as they did, they give Gumdana a sword, as, they said they were hesitant to do. And then, here's the part that we've seen from the trailer. Gumdana attacks him with a sword. We've seen this in the trailer, although everyone didn't know why he was attacking. Well, some people did, and some people got it right. It was definitely obvious that it wasn't going to attack on purpose. He attacks, but he had to surprise attack to make it look real, so he could get his powers back, because it's the fight that fuels him. But this time, also, Lloyd doesn't lose his powers. So that shows that, their powers aren't linked, and that Season 9, when he lost his powers, he didn't actually lose his powers, as Mistake said. Sorry, I said the wrong name then. Mistake said he didn't really lose his powers and never really lost. This is where, what I say with Lloyd's powers, Lloyd never lost his powers in Season 9. It was a mental block. So he was a mental block that kept him from using his powers. But he always had them. He still had his powers inside. He could have used them anytime in Season 9. But because he had a mental block, which is a common thing in reality mental blocks, a common thing. And in people with powers, if you have them, and powers are connected to the emotions and all that. So, yeah, that's why Lloyd's powers were missing in Season 9. He had a mental block that were blocking his powers, blocking his energy. After that, he obviously jumps off the boat after he gets his powers back, and then obviously Lloyd follows. So once they get down on the ground, Gumdana is kind of, using his powers to, I'm assuming, either locate Oni down there or locate where the realm crystal is, even though they should know where it is since the computer did tell them. And Lloyd at first does kind of have a little having a hard time down there. Again, probably because of the half Oni thing, although then again, Gumdana, look, I'm not going to get into that. That whole thing really bothers me. But he does get over it fast. Now, probably because he was half Oni, it took him a while to adjust. Like, he had to adjust to being down there. He was never going to, I was never worried because he's half Oni. But being half Oni, he would have to adjust. So he was just adjusting. His body was adjusting to being down in the black cloud. That's what was happening with that. So he was never in any danger. For those who were worried in that scene, don't be. So here, as Lloyd and Gumdana walking through the fog to get to Borg Towers, even though they kind of jumped off right above Borg Towers. So you think they would be very close to the entrance, if not right near the entrance. It was very, like, how should we say, weird. But anyway, here we get to see our first glimpse of all the people frozen, and a certain character that I guess didn't make it out of the fog, and that was Salzburg. So Salzburg is there, and because there's a camera, they put a camera on Lloyd. The ninja gets to see it too, including Pixel. And you know, Pixel, since Borg's kind of a father or creator, just like Zane had his creator, she was kind of, you know, sad to see him like that. And here, you know, Lloyd obviously, you know, tries to help, and you know, tries to get Garmtown to help, you know, take him with him. Here, Garmtown basically says, you know, that their focus is destroying the Realm Crystal. And here, I kind of agree with Garmtown, because why? Yeah, like, because Garmtown describes that they're not dead; they're in a suspended animation. They're frozen and in a suspended, so they're alive. They're just like in like an animation. And I actually thought this last episode too, because it was pretty obvious. But basically, he says, you know, to leave it. And I have to agree with that, because why? You want to rescue all him? There's all those other people you got to rescue too. And the best way to rescue them, since they are fine, is to leave them and stop the bad guys. You stop the bad guys, you get rid of the cloud, they will go back to normal. Simple as that. You stop the bad guys first, because they're fine. So here, that's where I agree with Garmtown. See, I'm not... Oh, see, Garmtown's not all bad. He actually speaks logic in some ways. In other ways, maybe not so much. Next up, there we arrive at Ninjago News Station, where we see a bunch of unfrozen people, including Gale Gossip and all the people things. So they haven't been affected yet. They also are probably on like a certain level of the building, and it's on the outskirts of the city. So because Borg Tower is in the center, it's kind of got to spread out there. So it hasn't actually, this suggests that it hasn't actually spread throughout the entire city yet. And that gives us hope in time. Here, so the ninjas obviously pick up the transmission that they're sending off, trying to get help, and go to investigate, while Pixel stays behind for Lloyd, and for backup for Lloyd, or just, you know, wait for Lloyd. People were actually confused about what Pixel was doing when she stayed behind. They were very confused. She was doing nothing. She was staying. They were going off. Like, some people actually thought she was going to rescue them, but she was staying while they were going to rescue. She was staying behind. That's all. There's no subplot. There's no nothing. So don't think too much into it. So Lloyd and Garmtown arrive at the entrance of Borg Towers, and here we get our first glimpse of the Oni. Two of the Oni that are actually, you can get minifigures of. They're in a little pack thing. Not really a poly bag, but it's like a pack of just minifigures, and they're like the guards, so they're not the main boss Oni for this season. But Lloyd Garmtown basically fight them. Here, this is another part that bothers me. Garmtown's powers, yes, is powerful, and yes, is technically what's meant to defeat them. That's how the creators are going, although it kind of bothers me there. Also here, Lloyd should be putting up a little bit more of a fight. They really nerfed Lloyd, I feel, because his powers are stronger than that. Even his green powers are meant to be stronger than that. Even without the Ejitsu and without the dragons, which they should know, the ninjas should know. Even without them, his powers are still stronger than that. If you watched all the other seasons, even without the golden powers, his powers were stronger than that. So why make him like unable to fight or put up a fight with the Oni? The Oni aren't that strong. I mean, I've actually I watched a fight. They didn't seem that strong, because Garmtown's not even using his full power. Granted, I don't think Garmtown's full potential is what he thinks it is. But yeah, so it's like, that really bothers me. So, you know, again, like, there are people who obviously, they don't hate Lloyd, but they get sick of him being the focus. Note, the reason that he seems like the focus all the time is because, one, he just like originally the Green Ninja, Destined Green Ninja, as the prophecy says, that doesn't change just because the final battle was done. He's still a Destined Green Ninja. He's a son of the first Ninjutsu, grandson of the first Ninjutsu master. He's the son of the Dark Lord. And, he's got Oni and Dragon Blood. Like, there's so many reasons why he would seem like a focus character, even if he's not. Which this season does not have a focus character, even if people think there is. So, just realize that before you say you sick of him. They're the reasons why you think he's the focus character, or you think he's always going to be a focus character. Because of those reasons. And the reason you think he's a focus character in this season is because of the Oni, which technically, because, the Oni are kind of part of his heritage in a way. So you got to realize those things. It's a story. It just bothers me when people get annoyed at when they use him so much. It's like, well, it's not that they're using him so much, it's that his heritage, his ancestry is just connected so much. Anyway, that's just what I have to say about it. So after the fight, Gamdan has a little smile on his face, and it's not it's not really an evil smile. It's an evil smile, but it's not really. It's like he's actually genuinely happy. So again, he seems to be getting less and less evil. Even if he doesn't admit it, he does seem like he's getting less and less evil. And in comments below, let me know if you think Gamdan is getting less and less evil, because he very much feels like it. So Gamdan and Lloyd arrive underground to where the realm crystal is, and the ninjas begin to start losing signal, because as they get closer to the realm crystal, obviously there's going to be interference, darkness and all that. So anyway, they arrive in the realm crystal, where Gamdan heads up and attempts to destroy the realm crystal. There are some things I have to say about this now. The realm crystal, and this was even in the last episode, but in the trailer when I saw it, but why does the realm crystal seem so big? The realm crystal was never that big, and I mean, it's not just perception, because Gamdan walks up to it as he gets closer. The realm crystal is still huge. Like, you couldn't hold it in one hand anymore, but originally, in this possession season, and even in the Skybound, they could hold it in one hand. This realm crystal does not look like you can hold it in one hand, and don't say, it changed size. No, it's not. It's a crystal. It's not a living creature. It can't grow. There's no way it could have grown. Even with the black, there's no way it could have grown like that. It's just way too big. Got way too big. It's very weird, and it really bothers me. Again, see, like I said, the minor things bother me. Nothing that affects the story. The story's still great and all that. It's just those minor little things. So anyway, getting over the realm crystal being so big, Gamdan attempts to destroy it, fails, and basically the black cloud happens. We've seen this in the trailer. The black cloud arrives, and we see the Oni rise from the cloud. So this is the leader of the Oni. We get to see our first really good glimpse of him. That's not in a shadow or in that background trailer. This is thing. And here the Oni also reveals his name as the Omega. Not just Omega. People get confused again because they couldn't understand it properly. He said he is the Omega, which technically means it may not be his actual name. It's what he is, like, because he says I am the Omega, which means he's the Omega Oni, but he could have a different name. But we'll just go like Omega because that's basically, what we're doing. So he's the Omega, and a lot of people were so hard of hearing his what he said, because they couldn't hear him. It was very hard to hear. They got out pieces. Some people have gotten the gist of it, but even then, a lot of people, even those people who went through and tried to figure out what he said, like there's been a few, they're all different. They all say different. They all got a few things the same, but they all have difference. But basically, the overview is he mentions his name, the Omega, the Destructor, the Bringer of Doom, and he asks if they're the Protector of the Realm. That's not the exact words. I'm not trying to figure out exact words. But he says that. He asks, he says like Calvin Dunton horny. Again, he's only half horny, but I'm not going to get to that. And, he asks why he's protecting the realm. And he mentions, perish with them. Some people are getting that wrong. I know that he said perish with them. He said some other stuff before that and things. Those words I know. I'm not going to try and go through and figure out his exact words way too hard. His voice is way too hard, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. But that's basically all, and that's the end of the episode. Again, these episodes feel very short, but so did season 9. And although this episode is awesome, it's just like episode 95. Just like episode 95. This season feels very cramped and short. Like, we know that there's only 2 episodes left. And this season feels cramped. Okay? Is this, like, the Oni did not deserve a bigger season than this. This is way too short for the Oni. Like, the creators, you were hyping up season 8 and season 9, you hyped up the Oni and all that to be these big bad enemies, the ultimate evil of the first realm and all the realms, and then you give them a 4-episode season special. That's a thing. That's just disappointing. And a lot of people say that, they'll carry on to next season. I don't think they will. I think they'll defeat the Oni in this season. But it's just like, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the fact that they hyped up the Oni to be such big and bad enemies, and then they have them in a 4-part special. Yes, they've done this, taking Ninjago, but Countdown took Ninjago too, and kept it for longer. It's like, anyway, that's my only problem with season 10 so far, apart from the minor stuff. And the minor stuff, again, they can be forgotten. That major thing though, that's the only problem I have that really affects my enjoyment a little bit and lowers the rating of the episodes. It's still great, still awesome, just like this show, but it's just cramped and pushed into things. But anyway, that's my review and all that of episode 96. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and in the comments below, let me know what you think of season 10 so far, and if you like it, or what you think of the Oni being in the season, how you think they portrayed the Oni, how well you think they're portraying the Oni in this. And yeah, also hit that notification button and check back every day for more stuff. I'll be reviewing the next episode when it comes. Again, they may not arrive fast like other people because I have to have a script to kind of shorten it. This is still pretty long, but it's shorter than hopefully it's shorter than my last one when I edit, because if I don't have a script, as I'm doing now, I ramble, and if I get sidetracked, I lose track of where I am. So that's why I have like a script and dot points to kind of help me stay on track of my review, because I lose track. I lose track of things quite easy. But anyway, see ya.